Fuck, I wanna take your orders for when your favorite star got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you wanna say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your kids poor, nigga, we don't even own our own corner stores. So quarter waters cost a quarter more. Wanna be an entrepreneur. We want sign checks. We want work for ourselves. We want own the next. We want own the next. You're too much of a threat. You're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us had to be an outlet. This had to be an outlet. So we won't connect. Let it say hi like hola. Listen to Hova. Whip up a rover. Been watching Power. Tommy and Ghost, bro. So I need some powder. Fish scale and soda. 99 cents. Crack cocaine is like the motif. It's plain and simple. Way back then, my mother hustling. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind. Just like the times when niggas died. On the path, back then was a bad day. Motherfuckers push me mad ways. I was a crack baby. Tell me nothing about my mother in the struggle. See, I love you in the sluggish, trying to smoke what she into. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't give a damn about the spouse, goddamn. Some of us rather had the man up, had to take care of us in the peace with 4 kids. The one on the way with no clip, no push in the fridge, no support shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Tie work, ain't that's no favors. Late night, you wish I bodegas. Over bread to me, some mayo. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. She went out with the cash out, I get lashed out. It's only take food stamps. $15 for that kid, fuck all that shit. Then the young nigga knows that it could be the coldest. Take back what they own show, whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove, right? $10 in the sack and he points to the back, say, I really get that soul. 99 cents. Straight. So I gotta go, take out loans, to go to school, to get a job, pay for the loans, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this arm and hammer, like I should have a hammer in my arm right goddamn now. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. Goddamn. Only 99 cents. It's hard to repair. Gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. 99 cents. 99 cents. Gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
I am black, but
Shalom Israel. Shalom Israel. We are ISUPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other group on the planet Earth. We're located here. 5261 Delmar Boulevard, Suite A, St. Louis, Missouri. 63108. All right. Let's see. Was it this week? Yeah, this week. So this coming Friday. Right? This coming Friday. Yeah, this coming Friday. Right outside here, 5261 Delmar Boulevard. Commander General Yohana, doing it again. Of course, doing it again. The men of the Lord, they work don't stop. Right. So when pastors and everybody else lets up, when your community leaders go lock themselves away in their little bunkers and hide themselves, the men of the Lord are still out here feeding the people. Right, we still out here. We still out here making sure the people have what they need, not just in food, but getting our people off these drugs, getting our people off of these corners, getting our people back right. And part of that is clothing them. Part of that is feeding them. Right, you can't just expect somebody just to quick sidebar. There's been studies that show. When people have nicer apparel to wear, and they have food in their stomach, it's easier for them to do things like get jobs. It's easier for them to do things to have a little bit of confidence in themselves and be able to do certain things that they wouldn't do before. Right, we're not the Christian church. We're just going to tell you, get better, and then send you off on your way. We're going to give you some tools to help you get better. Right. One of the tools that Commander Journey Yohana has been using in St. Louis is sending about 13,000 pounds of food every 2 weeks to the people out here who don't have no other way to get get food. Food stamps getting cut off. Unemployment's getting cut back. But Commander Johnny is still supplying food and clothing to the people in St. Louis. That's gonna be here at 1 to 3 p.m. It's October the 8th, this Friday, 5261 Delmar Boulevard. All right. Let's see. See if we have any questions. All right. We do not. All right. Let's hop into this topic. Right. First and foremost, there is a requirement to be considered a brother or a sister. True brotherhood and true sisterhood has required. It's not like in the world where you can just do whatever you want to do and think everything's going to be okay. Right? There has to be a standard. And we've been taught in this society that our standards are our own. We can make up whatever moral code we want to decide to live by. But that's not so. That's not what according to the Most High. And that doesn't work for us as a people. Right. We see what that's done to us as a people. We see that that's how we are in the ghettos. That's how we're in the bars. That's how we're on the reservations because we believe that we can do whatever we want to do. If it benefits me to sell your mother drugs to shoot your father, shoot your son, then I'm gonna do that because that benefits me, and it's good according to my moral. I gotta eat. My kids gotta eat. Right, but that's not how the Most High has it set up. The Most High has it set up. That's the way our oppressor has his system for us to be like that. And you only really see it as prevalent in our community. In these other communities, they stick together, right? They have common standard that they live by, right? We're gonna start off in Matthew the 12th chapter, starting off at the 46th verse. All right. It was Matthew 12 and 46. While he yet talked to the people, his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. So this is talking about Christ, of course. And he was talking to a group of people. And whenever Christ went into a town, whenever Christ moved, there was always huge crowds around him. Right? It wasn't just the 12 disciples who followed Christ. They followed him the closest, and they were the nearest to him. But it wasn't just 12 people. That was following him from city to city, right?
Verse 47.
Then one
said unto him,
Then one said unto him, Behold,
and
thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
Verse 48.
Verse
But
48.
He answered and said,
But he answered and said unto
it's like
them,
unto him,
it's like
that
unto
told-
him that told him,
Who is my mother?
Who is my
Are
mother?
my
And
brethren?
who are my
So,
brethren?
Christ is
So
asking a rhetorical
Christ is asking a
question.
rhetorical
But it's to
question.
teach
But it's
a
to
deeper
teach
meaning,
a
right?
deeper meaning, right?
Who is my mother?
Who is my mother? Who
right?
is my brother? Right?
Why would he say that?
Why would he
let's
say that?
continue.
Let's continue.
Verse 49. And he
Verse
stretched forth
49.
his
And he
hand
stretched forth his hand
towards his disciples,
towards his
and said,
disciples and said,
my
Behold,
mother and
my
brother.
mother and my brother.
Verse 50. For
Verse
whosoever,
50. For
shall do
whosoever
the will of my
shall do
Father
the will
which
of
is
my
in heaven,
Father which is in
the
heaven.
same is my
The
brother
same is
and
my
sister
brother
and
and
mother.
sister and mother. See,
Christ is saying that
Christ is saying that their
actions are required.
actions
right? There's
are
a
required. Right? There's a requirement
for him to consider
for him
you his
to
brother.
consider you his
Right?
brother.
There's a requirement.
Right? There's a requirement
that we as
that
a nation
we
have
as a
to
nation have
live
to
up to. Right?
live up to. Right?
And as Christ said,
And
it's
as Christ said,
whoever
it's
does
whosoever does
the will of
whosoever
his
does the
Father.
will of his Father.
That's not just everybody.
That's
right?
not just everybody.
And
right?
this is why you can't.
And
just
this is why you
affiliate
can't just
with
affiliate
everyone,
with
right?
everyone.
This
Right?
is why
As-
at the
This is
beginning
why
of
at the beginning of
every class,
every class,
the radio shows,
you know, the radio shows, everything where we say that we are not affiliated with any other
Israelite group.
Israelite group. We're not affiliated with any
We're not
Christian
affiliated
group.
with
We're not
any
affiliated with any
so-called black group,
so-called black
Hispanic
group or Hispanic group.
Right, the ISUPK,
Right, the ISUPK is not affiliated with any other group on the planet. Right,
because there's a criteria
that's required in here. There's a criteria
that you're expected to
that
live
you're
up to.
expected to live up to.
Right.
Right.
And one of the things
that
our people
get
caught up with
is
the facts
that you know
they get caught up
on numbers, right?
Because ISUPK is one of the
smallest
groups out there, and
that is
for a good reason.
Right?
Let me see where
Going to the book of Judges,
the seventh
chapter,
and we starting at the second.
verse. All right.
And the Lord said unto
And the Most High said unto Gideon, the people
that are with thee
that are with
too
thee
many for
are
me
too many for
to
me
give the
Midianites into their
lest
hand,
Israel
lest Israel vaunt themselves against
saying,
me, saying,
Mine own hand hath
So
saved
Christ
me.
is right here.
So Christ is right here. He's telling
Gideon.
He's
telling Gideon. Listen,
Slakia. The Most High is telling
the Most High is telling Gideon
that your army is
that
too
your
large,
army is
right?
too large, right?
That there's too many people.
That there's too many people with you.
And if
And
you have this
if
many
you have
people,
this many people,
they'll start to believe
they
that
won because
they
of their
won
own
because
strength,
of their own
might,
strength
and their own
right?
might.
And
Right.
in all
And
things, the
in
Most
all
High
things, the Most
wants
High
the
wants
glory.
the glory.
That's one of the reasons
right?
why.
That's
it
one of
says
the reasons why it
mine,
says vengeance is
saith
mine.
the Lord, right?
Saith the
Because
Lord, right?
He gets the glory out of
he
everything.
gets the glory
He's
out of
telling
everything.
Gideon
So
right
he's
here,
telling Gideon right
you
here.
got too many people.
You got too many people
Right,
with
and-
you. Right, and
Again, that's
again,
a problem with
that's a problem with a lot of our people. We like to look at crowds.
We like to look at who got the biggest and the
who
best
got the
church
biggest and the
choir,
best church choir,
or who got the biggest
or who got the
congregation,
biggest
right?
congregation.
We
right?
look at numbers.
We
and
look at
think it
numbers
means
and
something.
think it
doesn't
means
mean
something.
anything.
It doesn't
especially
mean
to the Most
anything,
High.
especially to the Most
Right?
High.
Let's keep going.
Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 3.
Now therefore,
Go to proclaim
in the ears of the people, saying,
whosoever is fearful
and afraid,
let him return
and depart
Mount Gilead.
early from Mount Gilead.
And there return
And there returned the people,
and there return
of the people
20 and
20
2,000
and 2,000,
and there remained 10,000.
and there remained 10,000.
So
So
the first requirement
is you can't be a coward.
right. You can't.
Right?
Listen,
You can't.
Listen. Our enemy is not.
Our
going
enemy
to
is not going
hand
to
over the keys
hand
to the
over the
kingdom,
keys
right?
to the kingdom. Right?
It's going to be a war.
It's going to be a war. There's going to be a fight. You
cannot
cannot be a coward. Right?
Let's see.
And so in this case, he had 32,000 men with him at first. And he woke up and it was only 10,000 left. Right? Let's hop down to the point. Verse 7. And the Most High said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped, will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let the other people go every man to his place. Right. So the Most High is saying, listen, you came out with 32,000 men. That was too many. It got down to 300. Or as it would call it in other parts of the Bible. There was a great falling away. The cowards made themselves known. Right, and they had to go. And there only remained 300. What's that? What? 10%? No, 10%. No, 1%. 1%. Less than 1% of what he brought with him stayed. And that's who the Most High won the battle with. Because it's the Most High. It's not the amount of numbers, right? You have to have a certain quality. There has to be something about you before you can even expect to be a part of a brotherhood that is righteous before the Most High. Right. And not only that, it's not necessarily a thing that you were necessarily born with. You can grow into that. That's what the ISUPK is for. It's to train up our people and break us of the habits that we have coming from this world. In this world, we're taught the exact opposite of brotherhood. We're taught the exact opposite of righteousness. And in fact, most times, what is righteous doesn't feel right to us because we've grown up knowing that everything wrong to be right. All right. Let's get to where we at. We went to the book of Mark, the fourth chapter and the 40th verse. Right. Because again, this was not just a concept. What they call the Old Testament. Because our people like to believe that when I've even heard this before. They've written books about this about how the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament are two different beings. Because basically what Christianity has done is they've what the Most High has said and mangled and mauled what's called the New Testament so much that outside observers when listening to Christian doctrine, you'll think that this is two completely separate books. You'll think that these two have nothing to do with each other. But whatever was said in the so-called Old Testament, whatever was said in the so-called Apocrypha, you'll find that in the New Testament. You'll find that as words of Christ, as in right here. Again, the book of Mark, the fourth chapter and the 40th verse. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? See, you cannot both have fear and faith at the same time. One cancels out the other. If you have too much fear, then you have no faith. If you have faith in the Most High, then there's nothing that you would ever fear. Right? And that's what our people outside of here don't understand. Because in Christianity, and I say Christianity because every system outside of the ISUPK is Christianity. If you're an atheist, you're a Christian. If you're Jewish and practice Judaism, you're a Christian. If you practice Islam, you're a Christian. So in Christianity, we believe we have faith and are afraid all the time because our faith is based off of what we don't actually believe in. We don't actually believe in what the Most High says. We don't know what the Most High says because we've been taught the Bible wrong. We've been taught our morals and our values and our standards wrong
because our communities
were set up to keep us there, to keep us in the ghettos. They keep us divided. They keep us against each other because each man can have his own belief system, have his own morals,
and there is no way
that
you will not
violate your brother's belief system while you have your own.
Because there's no universal standard.
And this is what Christ expects of us. Christ expects of us to have faith.
We're posed as a question
because he was baffled.
Like how do you have so much?
How do you have so much fear? You don't have any faith?
Like this isn't just a statement. He's bewildered.
Right. Next, we want to go to Proverbs, the 17th chapter and the 17th verse, right? Again, because in here, you're not allowed
to be a coward.
You're just not.
And if you come in here,
and
you are a coward,
that's perfect because
this is where you learn how
to get that cowardice up off.
You were taught to be
a coward, right?
The natural state
of the Israelite man is not a coward.
He is not soft.
He is not effeminate, right?
The natural state of
an Israelite man is to be just like Yahweh.
Austere.
A man of war. Because the Most High created us to be that way.
We were taught how to be soft. We were taught how to be
That is a learned habit. That is a learned trait. That's not something that you're just born with, right? Let's see. Okay, in the book of Proverbs, the 17th chapter and the 17th verse, right?
It says a friend
loveth at all times.
And a brother
is born for adversity.
We're born
to be able
to help our brothers.
We're
born to be able to help our sisters
in their time of need, in their time of struggle, right?
And you can't do that
if you're afraid all the time.
You can't.
We can't do that.
We can't do that.
We can't do
in
that
our communities nowadays.
Because that's what plagues us is our fear.
Right. We're afraid.
We're afraid that
the next man trying to get over.
We're afraid that
they running a
scam. They scheming.
Or they talking about me behind my back.
Or they doing it.
And Christianity
reinforces that talking behind your back like something.
I think
that's got
to be one of the most Christian things that there is.
To talk about somebody behind their back.
Right.
Let's see.
And that's what we're supposed to be here for.
We're supposed to
be here when we
need each other. We're supposed to be here in our time of need.
Because that's what a community
does. That's how you grow a community.
It does not
benefit me
for my brother to
fall.
And for my brother to struggle.
It does not make my situation any better
that you doing bad.
In fact, that makes my situation worse because now you might turn to do something out of desperation
because of
the situation that you're in.
You could have just went to your brother and
got help.
Because
you trust your brothers, you trust your sisters,
then these are the problems
we won't run into.
But it is
the chief goal
of our oppressor
to keep us divided against each other.
Right.
And to keep us divided against each other, we have to stay out of this truth.
You can be in
Christianity because Christianity will keep you divided.
Right. They have
hundreds of denominations, and you can go create your own one if you want one. Right. Like
it's about
division.
Right. One of their
Napoleon that came up with divide and conquer. That is their chief strategy.
Right, and we can't
stand as a community
without the Most High.
We can't be united as a community
without the Most High.
All right.
All right. Let's see here.
Where we at?
Right, and if you're fearful,
if you
lack faith,
you can't stand anyway.
All right.
Are we going to the book of Titus?
in the first chapter. All right. And we're starting in the ninth verse. All right, the book of Titus. Chapter 1, verse 9. Holding fast the faithful word, as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. So we're not supposed to be using this knowledge that we gain in here to harm our brothers and our sisters. We're supposed to be using it to build each other up. Right. And when we learn it in here, it's supposed to stay exactly the same as it was. Right. And why? And why is that? Because that is stability. That is something that Christianity and the so-called black community has no idea. It's being stable, right? Because most people in our community are they cool with you 1 second, the next second. That you can't ever get an actual gauge on them, right? Our people learn how to be from our oppressor, and we think that is the way to survive. We think that's how we're going to so-called get ahead in his life, right? But let's keep reading. Actually. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. Now, what does it mean when you're talking about the circumcision? The circumcision word, it was the name generally used for the southern kingdom. Right, and it was because they were supposedly still keeping the law. They were supposed to still be the ones that were still in the land. They were the ones that were still in the land, so they were supposed to be the ones that were still righteous. So this is saying especially from those who believe themselves to be righteous. Those who believe that they follow the law. Because the uncircumcised, they didn't even begin to think that they kept the law. Right? They were cast off. They knew that they were another. In the kingdom, the scribes and Pharisees thought they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. They thought they were following the law. When they were just creating their own and following the traditions of the men before them. Which is no different than our people do today. In Christianity, our people think that they're following the Most High God. They think they're doing what the Most High God wants them to do. But all they're doing is following the traditions of those who came before them. Right. And that's why you have to be not just vigilant of what your brother is doing or what your sister is doing. You first need to be vigilant of yourself, right? Let's keep reading. Whose mouths like in verse 11. It's like in verse 11. Whose mouths must be stopped. Who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. See, people do that to gain something, right? They get a joy, especially people who are miserable themselves. They get joy out of creating misery in others. Right, and what they need to do, and what we all need to do, check ourselves first. We need to see what is wrong with us. We need to figure out why do we feel like we need to cause these issues? Why do we need to start things? Right? Why do we cause these divisions amongst our brothers and sisters? Right. And
right.
from there,
that's when you start taking action.
When you figure out what's
wrong
with you first,
right? Because that's where you
have to begin. Because teaching isn't just what I'm up here doing now. Right?
Teaching is the way you live.
Teaching is the way you live your life.
Teaching is the way you conduct
Teaching is the way you conduct yourself.
Teaching is the way you
are when you're not around
anybody in the school.
Right?
Because that's you teaching.
brothers and sisters in the world how an Israelite conducts themselves.
Right? And it's a lot of people.
that are poor representation
and keep their head up.
and their nose up.
For some reason they are
more righteous than everyone else.
It's not the case.
It's not the case. The first thing you need to do is check yourself.
You need to figure out
where you're going.
If it's always a
It's
problem
always around you. It might be you that's the issue.
You might need
to look at yourself and figure out
why you feel you
need to keep things like that going. Right?
What's this next one? All right, because and that's what this school
is here for, right?
We all got our issues.
Coming in here.
Everybody.
Right, whether you were
murderer,
drug dealer, whoremonger, adulterer.
It doesn't matter
when you come in here. This is where you come in to get your issues fixed, right?
And let's see what
Christ said about this, right?
Going to
the book of Luke,
chapter
17 and verse 3. Right. All right, Luke 17 and 3.
Take heed to yourself.
First off, Christ
you got to
said,
look at yourself.
You got to look at yourself.
Pay attention to yourself.
Right? That's the first thing.
Right? That's the first thing you need to do.
You need to look at you.
You need to look at you first.
Let's keep reading.
If thy brother trespass against thee,
rebuke him.
If you have an
issue between you and another brother,
this
goes for sisters too. If y'all got an issue, a sister got an issue with another sister,
y'all supposed to go to
y'all supposed to go to each other,
and y'all supposed to
correct that issue.
We're not supposed to be talking about
each other behind the back. That's the most Christian thing that you can do. That is the most divisive thing that you can do. Why?
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to split up
the nation of Israel. You're trying
to fracture the nation off into sections,
who like who, and
that's Christianity.
That's 101, right? That's the Christian church. That's not what.
If you want to do that,
if that's what you like, and that's what you want to do,
a Christian church on
every single street corner.
You go there.
Right in. You fit right in.
What they like doing.
That's exactly what they like doing. Right? Go do that. Right?
In here,
we work
on correcting ourselves.
We work on
becoming perfect.
And
there are
men and women in here who've already achieved such things. Right?
Where was that? Keep reading.
And if he repent, forgive him. Right?
After you correct him,
you're supposed to forgive him.
After you say,
hey, look, hey, bro,
you did XYZ,
and that was
offensive to me.
Offensive to me, right?
And that brother like, you know what, bro?
I didn't even realize I did that. Salakia,
forgive me, right? You're supposed to forget that, man.
Because again,
not every time
that you get offended,
is it
what you think it was?
That's why you go to that.
That's why you go to that person first.
We don't talk behind each other's
back and run until 5, 6 other brothers,
7, 8 other sisters,
and
now you got a whole a group of people built up against somebody, and you haven't even gone to them. You haven't even talked to them.
You haven't even talked to them, so you don't even know what happened.
It could have been
It could have been
a simple
misunderstanding,
right? And now it's this whole big thing.
Because you want to keep running behind people's backs
and running your mouth.
And a lot of times, the way it ends up working out, running your mouth about something you don't even know about. Because it's usually second or third hand stories, right? Right. Let's see. Done with that one. Yeah. Let me get to that next one. Yeah, there we go. 2134. The book of let's we will stay in the same book. Book of Luke, 21st chapter, and the 34th verse, right? And it says, the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 34. Take heed to yourselves. This is Christ telling you to take heed to yourself before you want to run around and try to talk about somebody else or get some or correct somebody else. First, you need to check yourself first, right? Like you have to look at yourself, look at your actions. A lot of times, what we don't really consider is what part did I play? Right? If for some reason drama keep popping up around you. You have to start asking yourself. What am I doing to cause? What am I doing to cause? What am I doing? Even if you're not the cause. What am I doing to attract this drama to me? So you have to take heed. So you have to take heed to yourself. It's a personal inventory. Let's keep reading. Lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. Actually, let me go ahead and pull up that definition. So we all know what we talk about. For surfeiting. Let's see. Oh no. Come on. Salakia.
What you need, boy?
Surfeiting.
Definition. I said the definition of surfeiting.
Definition of who? Definition of
surfeiting.
who?
Surfeiting.
I can't hear him. Surfeiting.
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 All right. This is the definition of surfeiting. Cause someone to desire no more of something as a result of having consumed or done it to excess.
Right. So he said that your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. You too full of yourself. Right? You think you so righteous. And you've never done anything wrong. It's some people like that. They think once they get in the truth, right? All of a sudden, you ain't never been nowhere. You ain't got no history. You ain't got no history. You ain't got no past. Listen. You can't get full of yourself. Where it's just you are this great person. No, the Most High allowed you to find the truth. The Most High opened your eyes. The Most High is the one cleaning you up with His law. This isn't you. You didn't do that. Right. In fact, it's one of the hardest things. It's one of the hardest things, especially about coming in here. When you find out the truth, you want to go tell everybody. You want to go tell everybody. You want to go tell everybody, and it makes it makes so much sense to you. And that you think when you go tell them, they just gonna come right in with you. Right? Oh, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Christian church is a lie. Yahweh is in white. We the true Israelites. We need to follow. That's right. We need to follow the laws. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The Most High decides who eyes he opens. Right. He decides who he's going to allow in. Right. And we can't get full of ourselves. Like in the book of Judges. In the book of Judges, where we were just talking about with Gideon, right? The military was too full. Right? There was too many of you. So you would think that you did this. You would think that this great victory was on you. It's on the Most High. No, it's on the Most High. The Most High delivered that. The Most High is the one who who's going to clean you up. Right? It's not you and your great works. Right.
Right? And like I said, we have to be mindful of the things that we do when we get in here because everything that you do, you know what I mean? Even if nobody in the school catches you, whatever like that, and the Most High sees what's done in the dark will come to light. And Exodus, go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 6 and 4. Right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, 4, verse 4. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it.
So if you want to remain wicked, right? If you don't want to change your ways, you're going to destroy yourself. Right. Nobody else is going to have to do it for you. Nobody's going to have to expose you. You're going to expose yourself. You're going to expose yourself. You're going to tear yourself down. You're going to tear yourself down.
If I could real quick. Think about that song that we made back in the day. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Everybody thought that was just a nice little collab of all the rappers that came together to put that song out there. You know what I'm saying? Out there. They was actually quoting the scripture. They didn't even realize. You know what I mean? Didn't even realize. We don't even realize that's what we get everything from. By us being a spiritual people, we get everything right about the. You understand? We do everything in the book saying we've been doing for thousands of years. But we don't know that we spiritual because we so like the scriptures evil, like the scriptures say. That a wicked soul shall destroy him. That had it. We so wicked. We so evil that we don't even understand. We don't even understand what being spiritual is. You know. Can you read? You want me? Can you read? And shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies.
So them same people that you was against, they ain't gonna do nothing but sit back and laugh at you.
And Salaki, I just telling somebody this. Was it yesterday? Maybe day before. I can't remember. But I was like, the friends that you think you got. I know that they laughing at your silly, crusty self. I know you gotta know. You know what I mean? Because they've done it before, right? They've done it before, right? And they was like, yeah, they have. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They do it all the time. I'm like, well, what make you think? Well, what make you think? By you backwards, going to them. You understand? It's gonna turn around and make it. When you know that they've known to laugh at you and talk about you. This person. They thought they was doing good. Look, they love talking about you. One of the greatest scriptures I can think of on that when it says that there is no honor amongst thieves. You understand? There is no honor amongst a den of thieves. And a person that's outside of the truth. Will take that and think that we're talking about actually like stealing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't understand that any sin, you're a criminal. You understand? You are a criminal. Any sin that you commit, you are amongst those thieves in that den. You know. I think about all these precepts. That's what helped me stay in line. Help me stay a soldier. You understand? So that's all. That's all. That was an excellent precept. That was an excellent precept, sir.
And then hop down to verse 6. All right, because this. Ecclesiasticus and Tobit. Right. If you ever have any questions or advice in life, Ecclesiasticus and Tobit are two of the best books on just how to get yourself right and how to be right and why not to go off. Get that for me.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 verse 6. Be in peace with many.
So just like the other scripture where it says, if at all possible within you be at peace with all. Don't start no drama. Don't start no drama. In fact, if you offend somebody, even if you don't think that you necessarily did anything wrong, sincerely apologize. Just move on. Try not to. There's no reason to just stir up strife. if you know self defense or something like that, and you have to retaliate to defend yourself. That's different. But if possible, just be at peace with everyone. Right? Keep reading.
Nevertheless, one counselor of 1,000.
Don't be running your mouth to everybody you meet about all your business.
Right.
The beautiful thing about this school, we have capable men to counsel, right? Counsel you on your issues. Counsel you on your issues. Counsel you if you gotta having a problem with your life, having a problem with you and another person. We have capable people to do that here. These men are trained up for that very reason. Don't go running your mouth to every new person you meet. Like
it's like
you know what I'm saying.
They really think they be what they call it.
Kind of a kind.
You understand? When you're actually doing something that you really should not. Open up that door. You want to open that door because your business is going back around. You understand? You understand? Don't think that those friends that's thieves right along in the den with you. That's my honor to say, oh, that's my girl. I ain't gonna never say nothing. I ain't gonna let my partner. I ain't gonna never tell his business about his business. You know what I mean? That's funny. Hooked that up to a cousin of mine in the world. He just called me with this. He always called me. Nothing just happened, but he called me with what you saying just the other day. He had another brother that we grew up with, right? He turned around and goes around another brother three brothers that, you know, my cousin, two other cats that we grew up with, right? And he goes around the one telling his bit, about what he was doing or whatever, whatever the thing was. And he was like, man, he's straight tell, like, how did I even want him to know what you just told him? It's supposed to be a secret. Somehow the secret got out. You understand? And I was like, good. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, now that I'm in that world anymore, I can step back and see things for what they really are. You understand? And see how we had been doing this all along. Man, we'd have been out of so much trouble. I know I would have. You understand? I would have been out of so much more. My record would be so clean. You understand? If I had been listening and doing this, you talking about good advice. You talking about good advice. This is good advice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This right here is the most excellent advice that you can give yourself. You understand? These scriptures, man, these precepts, and actually live by. Don't just take them and then sound good, but you can actually apply all of what we read, because it will work. Because one day, even if you are what they call a loner or introvert, you know what I mean? Guess what? You encounter somebody one day. Even though you might stick to yourself, brotherhood can work as a slave. At your slave. You understand? Because you work around. You know what I'm saying? You work around other Israelites. I'm sure. You could take that right to work. Guess what? Have a decent day. Not get fired because y'all arguing and fighting on the job. You can apply this everywhere in your life with your family, with your family, your kids, your kids, with your husband, your wife. If we would only do this, man, we would be an awesome set of people. We really would. If our people would just see it and understand, if they could just get it. I remember Jim Muhammad saying that, that sticks in my head. He was, some just get it, and some don't. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I remember in the world, somebody said, "You just don't get it, do you?" You know what I'm saying? I remember hearing that a lot. You just don't get it. You just no matter what anybody tells you, you just don't get it. And I remember hearing that quite often. And I think the Most High that I ain't saying that I was proud of my past, but I think the Most High that I wasn't like totally out there like some other people. Some of our other people, man. I look at how some folks are on drugs really bad, and been on them since they was kids. Matter of fact, we just had a little young brother called Clubhouse. You understand? Him. His woman. He says woman smoked more than him. He said he trying so desperately to get her off the weed, but he's smoking too. You understand? So how are you gonna get her to stop? You won't stop. And the little brother listened. He stayed on that line with us for about over an hour or something. I could tell he wanted some help. He wasn't just being silly. You know what I mean? Or whatnot. He actually wanted some help. And he came and got in there, Lord will. He said he gonna call. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check and make sure that little brother, you know what I'm saying, get in class and get his life together. Because that'll be one less brother to die in the streets. You understand? Because you out here smoking, lungs all black, and then your organs ain't totally developed. You know what I mean? You ain't all the way there yet. And then you damaging your system, your organs and all of that. And you gonna be a through piece. You know what I'm saying? I ran into a sister today, man. She was going through something. I could tell in her eyes. I thought, when I'm just off seeing her, I'm thinking the sister looked like she was high. She looked like she was high as hell. But then when she got to talking, this was the dealership. Because this was the dealership. She just out of nowhere just started spilling her beans. You know what I'm saying? Just like, man, I'm going through so much. Her son, he ain't number in his 20s and got cancer. You understand? Got cancer. I'm about ready to leave here. And like I said, they're smoking, man. They think that shit is cool, but until it's almost your day to go. Then you're gonna find out. But then I realized the sister been crying. You know what I'm saying? She crying because her son is about to die because of him smoking. Now, had he known the law. Had he learned from us, had he been in the truth, you understand? It might have been a brother that we could say he'll be healthy, jumping around, doing whatever the hell it is he do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Doing something, but not laying in bed about to die because you got cancer. You know, and I forgot what kind of. I think he got kidney cancer. I forgot what it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. It ain't just cancer. And you go cancer and you go get a chemo and then all your hair fall. He about to go. You know that kidney. You know that kidney. I know you know. I know you know about it. Much research you do. But he got kidney cancer. You know what I'm saying? And she said he about to roll. And that's I could tell. Man. You know, like I said, she just looks so bad. Her face. I mean, she's a beautiful sister, but like I said, you just tell she was. Like I said, I thought she, you know what I'm saying? Because that's normally what the hell eyes mean. But that sister actually mourning for her son. He ain't dead yet. He about to go. And like I said, so many of our people, man, are so close to death, about to die, ready to die, want to die. It took for me to come in here to understand that when our people in the world can say that I came up around some of the roughest thugs, man, that you could imagine. And them brothers would be like, I'm ready to die. This was like every day. I be saying to myself, I want to live to 100. Hurry, come kill my whole little dream. I'm ready to die today. I'm like, whoa. Not so soon. You know what I'm saying? I got things I was planning on doing in the next, 5-10 years, brother. Not today. But just saying, man. Our people, man, we in bad shape. We are in bad shape, brother. And guess what? We the only somebody that just don't get it. It's something that needs to be done. And what needs to happen? We all come together under commanding General Yohana and keep these laws. Damn right. We can stop that. We can stop the cancer. We can stop the cancer. AIDS. We can stop the AIDS and STD. You understand? We can stop these things, man. But if you won't stop, then you won't. Then it won't. If you won't stop, then it won't. Keep smoking, you'll get the cancer. Keep hoeing, you get that. It's coming. You understand? It's coming. I'm pretty sure you about had a couple of those diseases already. That is disgusting. You know, I remember it too. I remember it too. Keep going on. You know me. My stories. I only been here 21 years. I got 21 years, but I got a lot of stories, bro. Like I'm about 40 bitches. But like I said, that used to be something talked about. That was talked about a lot when I was coming up as well. I know STDs. I know brothers catching them on a regular. Was catching them on a regular. Oh yeah, I got that again. It's like you just calm about it. Sisters was nigga he burnt me. That nigga he burnt me again. Like you just took medicine for that. You just took a shot for that. And now you back at it again. It was normal. It was a normal thing. You know, that's terrible. But go ahead, Warrior. Where you go next? I ain't gonna keep going on and on.
Verse 8.
God, Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 8. Some man is a friend for his own occasion.
This is why you are supposed to seek wise counsel, right? And that, as Camp was saying, go venting to just everybody. Because some people are your friends just so they can have enough ammunition to come against you with. Right. This is not a new phenomenon. This happens. This happens. And this has been happening. Obviously since I believe Ecclesiastes. Since Solomon was king. Right. This is a thing that happens. Once you find the council, that's where you go and talk out your issues. As it said, one of 1,000. Don't just run your mouth and tell everybody, because some people are just there, so they have something. They just want to know something. They just want to know something. So they can come back at you with it, right? Keep going.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Not only they not abide in the day of your trouble, they gonna aid the day of your trouble. They gonna help that day come on real fast. They the ones that when you down, they kicking you. This again. Talking behind somebody's back. It's one of the most Christian thing you can do. Like I said, if that's what you want to do, if you just can't see getting past talking behind somebody's back, you just got it. It's a Christian church waiting for you, waiting for you, and you gonna fit right there, and they gonna love you. Because you gonna be just like them, right? Right?
Absolutely.
Go to the book of Romans, the first chapter and the 29th verse.
Romans what?
1 and 29. Kind of concert. All right, because it's a certain spirit. It's a certain spirit on a person when they just gotta start up trouble, run and talk behind somebody's back, right? That's why we go through counseling. Here to alleviate and get rid of that spirit and keep that spirit out of here. It's just something detestable. Somebody who does things like that.
Absolutely. Romans chapter 1, verse 29. Being filled all unrighteous.
So these are things that are unrighteous, right? These are things that the reprobates have, right? That the reprobates have been turned over to, right? It's going to list some unrighteousness.
Fornication.
Right? Fornication. It's fornication. Obviously. First and foremost of all the unrighteousness. And the first thing that the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans love to do.
Good night.
What's the first? I guarantee you he's gonna do what I'm thinking. Say exactly what I'm thinking. What's the first thing a woman says when you tell her about having more than one woman?
Can a woman have more than one man?
First thing. How does that work? Most popular question. Well, can a Well, that's all you. That's all you worried about in here. That's all you worried about in here.
And the first thing that a sister can think of to do is to give their vagina to someone else who she mad at. Just don't like you no more. Whatever. She's ready to give it up to somebody else. As a matter of fact, I was watching. You know me. I be watching Judge Mathis. It was episode where the brother had went to jail. Right. And she said he had it. He had it going on before he went. He had his own place. Had either a good job or business. He was doing pretty decent for himself. But he ended up getting locked up. Instantly was ready to get rid of him and moved on to someone else. I was like, God damn! Like, just got locked up, and he was only locked up for a year. Like, you couldn't wait a year. You couldn't wait on this brother. For a year.
So I thought you was gonna say like 10, 15.
Nah, he ain't getting no 10, 15. It was 1 year. 365. You wait that long for a damn tax return. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't wait on your man to get out of jail for a year. And of course, she was already moved on. Somebody else in that bed. And just think of how this brother feel. He getting sued. Number one by this stock. You understand? And you was his woman. You was his woman. And then think about it. When he needed you the most. Like, God damn. He may have done something silly to get locked up or whatever the case may be. He ain't really go into detail about his charges. His charges. But I mean, damn. The scripture says that if your man is not following these scriptures, you can help get him in order. And it's so sad. It's so sad that when these sisters that's outside of the UPK, they claim to be in the truth. They have like no compassion at all for their man. No patience. No none of that. It's just he ain't following the Most High, so I'm finna give it somebody else.
Right.
I heard that all the time. I heard Israelites, especially now since the social media can talk. Clubhouses. I be in all them rooms where first thing out of these sisters' mouth is them getting them somebody else. You nasty. You sound like you sound nasty and smelly. I'm serious. You know that. I'm serious. You know that thing. I know you did the research on that too. You know that thing started smelling when they dealing with multiple men. It don't even have to be at the same time. It could be you with this guy this 6 months in a year, then you get with him for a year, or it could be just that. That thing is going to start smelling. It's going to start smelling. It's going to start smelling. But they know their body. So what I'm saying? Well, why ain't you killing that stench? You understand? But that's the first thing. That's the first thing that they want to do, man. It's something wicked with their body. Like you have. That's why I say women are like children. A child just jumps to whatever the hell they want to do. And for some odd reason, sisters, that's the first thing they want to do is go give that body up. For whatever. That's why a lot of them out here on the court. I hate to see that, man. I hate to see them on the stroll. And willing to give up their body, getting in and out cars all day and all night, bro. All to get high. Just to get high. Oh, and you know something else about that little brother? He actually is intelligent. You understand? But he's ruining himself with that dope. But he got a little sense for his woman. He don't know that she is worse. You understand? You understand? He's childish. 16. Definitely, he's 16. She's even more childish than him. And he has said that man, I see her going down the same road as her father. Because she said her father. He started with the weed. He started with the weed, and now he on pills. She see him start doing that same. She finna start doing that same. Either he said about to start or she already had. And then because those things they be going out sometimes. I told him I said that's the door. That's the door right there. The weed is the door. The weed is the door. Weed is like innocent. Ain't never hurt nobody. about it. You ever heard people talk about weed? It's just innocent, and it's just. And I was high, and I was hungry, and I was hungry. You know what I'm saying? I had the munchies and all that. They talk about it so good. As if it is not destructive. You understand? As if it is not damn destructive. We read that article the other day about all the damn deaths and all the accidents since the legalization of the weed. You know. That's not coincidence. That's not coincidence. That's what the white man wants. That's what the white man wants you to do. He know you gonna get high as hell. You already get blowed. And high as hell out your damn mind. So he know now that he done made it legal. Oh man, come on. And then you filling up his pocket. How much money did he say he gonna make in 3 years and 3 months out? 44 billion off your dumb black ass. You understand? Like, come on, man. Pookie is sell on the corner. He should be mad. He should change profession. Go to college. He should go to college. He should immediately drop that because you've been trying to get $4,400 for a long time. You understand? You ain't made your way up to 4,400 yet selling blunts and dime bags. You know? Broke as all get out. But this white man said he finna make $4 billion in 3 years and 3 months. Was it 2025? Was it 2025? And you know he's gonna go way over that. Because you know the pandemic sale of the weed. What was that report? What was that report in Cahokia? In Cahokia, you know how much they made it? 1 month? 20, it was 27? Was it 27, 28 million?
22.
It might have been. It might have been 22, 23 million in 1 month. And was boasting and bragging on that mess, man. And you know why? Because niggas was depressed. It was sad. It was already depressed. That's why they smoked. You turn around and the pandemic hit, not even more sad. Like that little sister that killed herself. You understand? Because she was sad about the pandemic. You know, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous, man. You know, this stuff is ridiculous. We gotta do something better. You know, we definitely gotta do something. Better. I've been seeing people smoke weed since I was a kid. It was unattractive. Then it's unattractive. I've been seeing crackheads since I was unattractive. It was unattractive then. It's unattractive now. I've been seeing heroin addicts is unattractive then, is unattractive now. I've been seeing broken families, broken homes, children that's lacking because they have no father. That's why a lot of our people do drugs too. No father in the home. I just brought that out. Brought that out in the lecture. No father in the home is why children are lacking in school. Why they drop out. That's what he did. You know what I'm saying? Little young man that called in. He dropped clean out. I ain't really been to that. Brother asked him, how your grades? I ain't gonna lie, my grades messed up, you know. But like I said, he held a conversation. Not like a 16-year-old immaturity. You can hear the immaturity in there, here and there. For the most part, this young man had sound like he was intelligent, you know. And most of our kids are until you start doing dope. Then you lose all sense of what intelligence really is, you know. And so, like I said, he turned around and held down a whole conversation with all of us in that room, you know, And like I said, Lord will that little brother get, but they don't understand. That that's the door. That's the door right there. Go in there because they talk about weed like it's harmful at all. Not harmful at all. You understand? Until you start reading articles that I was going over from lectures, studying from lectures. Why we make you faint? You understand? You ain't supposed to be smoking. That's why I make you faint. That's why I make you faint. Number one. It goes into all of this, why all of this, all of that. Psycho part, why people be going crazy. You understand why you got mental issues and all of that. You know, just what'll make you sleep with a man. I'm hearing it a lot back in the day. You understand? I know so many sisters get that tail for some weed. And I'm like, damn. That's all it takes. It's just that. It's just and you having sex. God knows what. to somebody that you, it's not even your man, that you don't even like, but you willing to do all of that. The same with the sisters on the stroll. Strangers pull up. You know, men at the men just pull up and you just do whatever. You know, it's ridiculous. Man. It's ridiculous. So we definitely got to do something. We definitely got to do something better in the black community. We definitely got to do something better. You want me to keep reading? Romans chapter 1 verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness.
Right. That's covetousness. That's you simply see something that somebody else has, and you want that one. Not you want one like it. Yeah. No. You got some nice shoes. I want those shoes. Right. Right. This is why this is one of the truest books ever. This is still us to this day. Right. This is describing our problem and every problem that we have. Right. Keep going. Right. Keep going.
Maliciousness.
Right. Again, most of the time when people talk about you behind your back, it's to be malicious. Right. It's not. It's not because they really wish that you could get some help, or they're trying to be evil towards you. Right. This is not. It's not by mistake. It's not by mistake. Right. Or how they call it? They didn't dry snitch on you. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't an accident. They are intentionally trying to harm you. Right. Right. Keep going.
Full of envy,
right.
Murder, debate, deceit.
Now see, these are traits that we find in our oppressor that mimic and that we mimic, right? And that we mock. Again, this is Paul's letter to the congregation in Rome, to our people who were living amongst the Edomites, who were acting like Edomites, who were following the traits that Edomites exhibit. Because there's no more deceitful. Even they'll agree. There's no more deceitful nation or people than the Edomites. Right? They know they are the most deceptive on earth. They know they're the most murderous people to ever grace the planet. The Most High even blessed Esau with the sword. That's his thing. To kill and deceive. Like we take on their traits. And then we wonder why our community is
that's not for us.
Because that's not for us. Right? That's them. Leave that to them. Right? Keep going.
Malignity.
Now I'm gonna read the definition. The definition of malignity. The definition of malignity is malevolent. But what this is more so speaking about is the medical. What is used as the medical definition. Malignancy is a tendency of a condition to become progressively worse. So everything starts off nice and smooth. Right. It's a small deceit. It doesn't really seem that malicious. By the time they done with you, all you see is venom. Right. Count
Whisperers.
Those people talking behind your back. Keep going.
Verse 30. Backbiters.
Right. And the same thing is whisper. They're a little bit louder. Right. And these people are all summed up in the next phrase they use. Go ahead.
Haters of God.
See, if you hate God's children and you are murderous, deceitful, malignant, and whisper, backbiter of God's children, you hate God. That's it. That's the core reason. Right. You may not think most Christians think that they love God. You hate God. You hate God because you hate His children. You would deceive his children. You would murder his children. Backbite and whisper about his children. So you hate God.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Despiteful. Proud. Boasters.
And they always proud of themselves and ain't never did nothing. They always boasted on nothing. Right? You big up yourself about nothing.
Right?
Right? But And that's why they keep talking about you behind their back. Because they know that they have nothing to be proud of. They know that there's something wrong with them, but they don't want to face that. They're cowards, right? They're cowards, right? These are the same reasons why there are quote unquote fake Israelite groups. I don't even want to call them that because it's not really Israelite groups at all.
Right.
Different Christian churches. That's all. That's why they exist. That's why they exist. Because they were too proud. They were too boastful. Especially the purple. Look how many people. We got. Yeah. Y'all looking like TD Jakes numbers right now. I seen you video with the plane on it, the purple soul plane you got at the beginning of every video. Like that's so
come on,
they doing a Creflo style fundraiser
to get them a jet, huh?
You're Christians. You're doing the same thing, and you're proud of and boasting about the same thing. That's why the Most High sent all those people away. That's why there's a great falling away. All y'all ain't needed, right? If you want to follow the Most High, if you want to get along with His program, you got to humble yourself. You can't be proud. You can't be any of these things.
That's if I could. I was talking to one of them sisters in purple that. She turned around, made mention of that sister Joy Morgan, and basically, I told her, sis, you sound like you can care less about that sister getting up under your group. She said that the bishops told her not to go with him, something like that. Now all of a sudden it's her fault. You understand? But the thing is, if any of my sisters was to go with me, they're gonna get where they going. You understand? You understand? If they got a husband, if they don't. I ain't finna, say nothing, out of pocket to them. If they got a man or if they don't. You understand? There's a way you can get with a sister, and there's a proper way. And they actually love it. They understand? They don't care about getting macked on, but not force myself on. Right? She said that. What else did she say about that? It was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous, man. But like I said, she ain't gonna get hurt. She ain't gonna talk to in a messed up way. I'd have been around my brother's wives and their kids, and guess what? No problem out of me. So she said that you can't blame the bishop for that. Oh yes you can. Because first of all, why was that African in your group? Why was he even there? You understand? So it was just excuse after excuse. Sister said Ham and Ham share Africa. Shem and Ham, share Africa. That's what she said. Is she gone? She is gone.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
What else would you expect from a Christian but to blame the victim?
Come on, man. All day.
That's why the molestation numbers are so high in our community. Because your daughter come to you and tell you she was touched by your boyfriend. You come to her and say, "Oh, that's because you fast." Right. Oh, the pastor touched me. The pastor ain't touched you. The Christian way to deal with anything like that is to blame the victim.
Yeah, they do. That's what they do.
That's exactly why I said. I don't even want to call them fake Israelite groups because that makes them seem like they're even close to the UPK. They're the UPK. They're Christian churches.
Damn right.
That's it. That's it. Like
absolutely.
Like. Again, this is why we are not affiliated with any other group on the planet.
Damn right. But yeah, that messed me up, man. I thought at least I was gonna hear sister have some kind of look. Compare being a woman. You understand? I thought she was at least gonna. Yeah, that was messed up, man. She sounds just like the rest of them idiots. You know. Yep. And said that was her. She said, when the Most High make his judge. That's what she said. That's what she said. When the Most High make His judgment, none of us can do it. I was like, God damn. That's cold right there. That's cold right there. But that's why I'm in here. That's why I'm in here. You understand? That's why I'm in the ISUPK. Because that was even 6 scene go back and forth on my screen. You know.
So she rather put it on the Most High. But the bishop,
yeah, you can't blame him. Yeah, you can't blame him. So everybody had a day. Yep. Said what happens. You know how it is when you don't listen. Like damn. Might just get to come same way. Dylan Storm Roof. I guess that was the Most High too. That was the Most High too.
Same thing with Dinah.
Oh, in the scripture. In the scripture.
They didn't do like Simeon and Levi. They just let it go. They just let it go. Well, I guess you should have been walking over there with that hat, Mike. Then
right, exactly. They ain't take that blame her and blame her for that. They went and got busy. Now don't do it now.
Right.
Don't you two Judites or Judah go try to run them up, everybody head off. Don't do it. Say that for this war.
Damn right. You
want me to keep reading?
Matthew 18 and 15. Right, because the thing, if you got a problem, right? If you have a genuine issue, if you believe somebody offended you, right? The Most High in His scriptures has a way for you to solve that problem. Right? There's a process, right? You don't just got to figure it out. On your own. Going behind somebody's back and talking about them is not the way to get anything solved. All it does is stir up strife, right? You got that?
Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between him alone.
So you're supposed to go to that person one-on-one. You're not supposed to try to put him on blast in the middle of the street. Like you don't even know where the issue stems from. Right?
That's like it. No, put on Facebook. They put all your business out there on Facebook. You know how many fights because of Facebook posts? I hear every day. I see them every day. I still got a lot of them groupies on my timeline. It be arguing and beefing over a Facebook post. I'm glad I got better things to do in life.
I heard it was this couple. They got to fight. Like almost came to blows. The fight was you don't post me on Facebook.
You don't post me on Facebook. You
don't have my picture. Next to yours on Facebook.
Oh,
you about to square up with your woman.
Yeah.
Because it's just pictures of your kids and not a picture of you.
Good night.
Yeah, y'all live together. And she ain't with because she didn't put your picture up there. You want to fight?
Mm-hmm. They taking stuff serious. They
ain't
got nothing else to fight for. They coming here to fight for their nation. Boy, you can let all that energy out. Bring all that energy in here. Not fight over a phone. And speaking of that, a video I seen a video today. You know how they go around asking random people questions. I seen them ask this dude. He said, "Y'all in a relationship?" Him and his woman. He said, "Yeah." Y'all can swap each other's phones and go through. Y'all trust each other. The brother was like, "Yeah, I trust my woman." He said, "Where your phone?" He said, "Where your phone?" Brother Poole, he said, "Where your phone?" She said, "I gotta go get it." She said, "I gotta go get it." He said, "Yeah, go get your phone. It's a brother. You're strong. He can prove I could trust my woman. Go over there, get that phone. They swap that damn thing. He said, "Wait a minute, hold up. I love you. What, baby? Sending you money. You got money. You got money from John. Who the hell is John?" Then it was about 3-4 dudes. I was like, oh my God, man. I'm sure he canceled that. Like he did on what was that? Nino.
New Jack City.
New Jack City. Yeah, New Jack City. Cancel that trick. You understand? Get rid of her.
Well, see, we don't have to go through that. Right? It's
a way to solve.
You don't have to again go for what you know.
The scriptures tell you.
How to do
that
it.
person.
You go to that person and that person alone. And then you
talk to them about
what they've done and how they offended you. Right? Keep going.
God, if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother.
If they hear you, squash it.
Like the previous scripture said,
go ahead and forgive them
and be done with it.
And be done with it, right?
Up to verse 17.
So then after that, you take 1 or 2 with you if he don't hear you, and then hopefully he'll hear you. But if not, that's with verse 17.
Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
Right.
But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican.
Now that people don't understand what it means as a heathen man or as a publican. But fortunately, I don't have to make up what it means. We can just go look at the scripture and see what it says.
Go to Romans
16 and 17. Right?
Because again,
every answer that you
need
on how to deal with the situation are right here in the Bible. Right? You don't have to make it up on your own. And this is why I tell people that when you read the scriptures, right, the so-called Old Testament, that is your kindergarten through high school. That's your basis, your foundation of all your educational learning. You don't get past it. Make sure you got every law, statute, commandment and you will be Tawaf, right? And then the Gospels are like right?
College.
Then Paul is like master's classes, right? You get more into depth
what the Gospels were talking about,
and what
the law and the prophets were
talking about when you start reading Paul. You can't just hop into Paul. You have to have a basis for him first. But you need explanation. If you need explanation on anything further in depth on anything before Paul's letters,
Paul provides.
Paul provides that.
So let's see what Paul says.
About this same situation.
You said 16 and what?
16 and 17.
Romans chapter 16, verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them.
You're supposed to go through that counsel. That person, you're supposed to hear your brother, or your brother's supposed to hear you, and that's supposed to be the end. And that's supposed to be the end. The only reason that you continue further and that you keep pressing is because you're trying to cause division. Because you like to talk behind people's back. You like to be a backstabber. You like to do these things. So if that's what you like to do, and you will not hear the 2 or 3 that he brought with him, you will not hear the congregation. Well, then you must be marked as someone who is causing divisions and offenses.
Right. That's the next step.
That's the next step. That's what it meant to be treated like a heathen and a publican.
You're marked.
A heathen, right? A heathen.
They're another nation.
They're another nation.
That's the mark that they have.
That's the mark that they have. They're being of another nation. A publican. Don't nobody like tax. Right. That's what a publican is. Right. That's what a publican is. It's a tax.
Don't nobody like tax collectors.
Don't nobody like tax.
Everybody avoids them.
Everybody avoids them. Right. Especially back then when tax collectors would collect that money by force.
Right. You're not getting
a letter. You're not getting a letter from Roman tax collector. You getting him in a couple armed guards.
Give me your money now.
Like give me your money now.
Give me your money now.
You ain't got no option. Right. So that's what it. Right. So that's what it meant to be treated like a heathen and a Republican. Right. Keep going.
Oh, and Slaki, and it says
avoid them. It says avoid them.
right?
Because after you're marked,
we gotta stay away from.
We gotta stay away from you because you've shown and proven that all you're here for is the destruction of the body. You're here for the destruction of God's children. We can't have you around.
Right.
All right, keep going. All right, keep going.
Verse 18. Verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ.
You don't serve the Most High. It don't matter how long. It don't matter how long you've been sitting there, or what you think, or what you think you've done. You don't serve the Most High. Because if you did, you'd have been able to squash whatever issue you had. You wouldn't have been causing divisions. You wouldn't continually cause offenses. You don't serve our Lord. Yahushua Hamashiach, or Jesus Christ in English, right?
But their own belly.
See, that's what I was talking about before. When you do it for filthy lucre, right? You do it for your own gain. Something that's good to you. It feels good to you to cause this division. It feels good to you to stir up this strife. You feel better about whatever demons you got on you, because you can stir up something in somebody else. All right, all right. Finish that one up.
And by good words and fair speech, deceive the hearts of the simple.
So, and when you do it, when they telling you the stories, they telling it to you like, oh, I'm telling you this in confidence. I really don't know why it's going on. No, you just trying to get somebody. You just trying to get somebody simple-minded on your side. Right. You trying to circumvent. You trying to circumvent the law by just. If I get enough people on my side, regardless of the truth, then I'll be okay. No, then I'll be okay. No, this is why you have. This is why you have to be avoided. Because even those who are simple, if they in here trying to do the will of the Most High God, we got to keep them away from it. Because you gonna deceive. Because you gonna deceive them. You gonna pull them out because of your mess. Right?
Damn right.
Right. All right. And actually, with that, I see we're about at the time. Shalom, Israel. Keep freezing. The security announcement? Come.